Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, I have something to share with you all that is going to be mind-blowing. So I said a few videos ago that I was going to do the typical thing I do, how much was spent. So I enjoy doing this. I assume you guys enjoy watching it because you clicked on the video. You probably already know what's going to happen. But whenever we have some of these Kraken bait tournaments, I always like to see how crazy, how hard players actually went. Now, my bracket was actually pretty reasonable. The top person, 25,000 points. That's not really an insane number of shards, especially when you look at the global leaderboard. I mean, if you've been saving for a little while, you can achieve that. If you've been saving your inheritance from past 5 lives, you may be able to achieve this, 614,000 points. 614,862. Sorry, I don't want to shortchange him with the not 862 at the very end. Compare that to the second place. That is almost 3 times higher. Not quite, but almost. That is crazy. So what I've done is I went ahead and took the averages of these points, and with you all, I'm going to see how much money was spent, how many shards was opened, and then I want you all to compare his account, how many legendaries he's pulled to your own, and then to mine, which this is where I'm truly surprised. I've not done this before in one of these videos, so I'm going to try it out today. But while you're here, drop a like on the video. Very much appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, all that typical YouTube nonsense. But rare champions in these events, 50 points. Epic champions, 350. Legendary champions, 650. This is from Void Shards specifically. Ancients are valued a little bit less. Unfortunately, I can't click the info section, so I can't see what they're actually valued at the moment. But I know they're valued less. So we scroll down. With a 2x on, we have an 83% chance to pull a rare. We have a 16% chance to pull an epic. Typically, your chances are half that because we had a 2x event going on during this event. Typically, these are your rates, but with 2x, these are your rates. So 83% chance at a rare, 16% chance at an epic, and a 1% chance at a legendary. Scroll down a little bit more. That means that in 100 pulls, you're going to get approximately 83 rares, giving you 4,150 points. You're going to get 16 epics, giving you 5,600 points, and you're going to get 1 legendary, giving you 650 points. Now, obviously, you have the mercy system. If you get 220 shards, you're guaranteed a legendary. You've gone plenty of times over 100 shards with no legendaries, but this is just based on the percentages. That's going to be the simplest way we can do this math. So if you divide 10,400, which is the total of 100 pulls, by 100, that's going to give you the per shard points, which is 104 points per shard. Pretty simple stuff. So now we get into the less simple, more mind-blowing things. So here we go. Let's go check out how much money, how many shards did the top place person pull. Now, I do want to say, I know that getting this many void shards is going to be very difficult. I'll go over that in just a second, but here we go. 614,862. That is crazy. Divided by 104, that puts us at 5,912. Not dollars, but shards pulled. Now, this is void shards specifically. And you may be wondering, how do you get that many void shards? Well, players who are in that threshold of spending do get void shard packs that come with a lot more void shards. However, you're not able to go in here and just buy void shards like you can ancient shards. You can literally buy infinite number of ancient shards until your bank says, no, 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 don't do any more of that. You are spiraling. So unless your bank stops you, you can just buy all these. Just buy gem, buy shards. Easy. You can't do that with void. So it's a limited number of voids you can buy. However, I do think the math on this is going to track pretty well because ancients and voids, as far as the price comparison, if you're buying ancients just from the gems, the conversion isn't going to be fantastic. Going over here to the offer calculator on the aftershockunited.gg website, you can see ancient shards valued at 120 on average and void shards 250. Depending on what kind of spender you are, these are going to be different. But it's a 2x void. Void gives you more points on the actual pulls. So in general, all of his points, I think really whether we did it with ancients or voids, it's still going to come out about the same. This is half the price of a void shard, basically, and the void shards are going to give you more than double points because it's a 2x event. So if you pulled ancients, you'd have to pull a ton of ancients, a crazy amount of ancients, because they're not on the 2x event. You're not going to get as many epics. You can buy as many as you want, but either way, I just want to say we're going to be using voids specifically for this tracking. It's going to make it a lot more simple, a lot easier to follow. So here we go, 614,000 points. That is going to be 5,912 shards. Now, this 0.13, we're going to say that he rounds up decimals even if they don't deserve being rounded up. So we're going to round this up to 5,913 shards. 5,913 shards because, I mean, he's a whale. Actually, he probably wants it to be 5,915 because the 3 isn't relevant. Actually, probably 5,920 just so we can have another 10 pull. Imagine the carpal tunnel you'd be getting from this. 5,000. I've pulled 1,000 shards 1,000 ancient shards. Honestly, we got to take a moment to respect this. Like pulling 6,000 shards, let's just say that. 6,000, we're just going to round it up completely. Pulling 6,000 shards, you've cleared out so much space. You're a player who has so many legendaries as it is. You're feeding legendaries. If this person live streamed his pulls, it would make viewers sick, especially when you see how many legendaries approximately that he actually pulled. It is mind-blowing. So here we go. Let's go ahead and continue with this. 5,913 shards. 5,913 shards. Go over here to the offer calculator. How much money would be spent? Let's see. So 5,913. That is a total of $14.78 thousand. That is Plarium's pricing. Obviously, if you purchase shards, it's going to be more or less. Honestly, if you're purchasing that many voids, it's probably going to be closer to $3 on average because a lot of these packs come with voids, but they also come with like gems. They come with a bunch of other stuff as well. So it's going to be really hard to tell exactly. But here we go. Total $14,782. So let's say this pack was offered to you for $13,000. Well, that's an average deal. Let's say it was offered to you for $10,000. Would you buy that? I mean, it's a good deal, so maybe you should buy that. For $10,000, you could get almost 6,000 voids. Hey, that's up to you. But there we go. That's how many voids were pulled. That's how much money about was spent. We'll say $13,000, okay? Now, moving on from first place alone. I want to talk about his legendaries pulled in just a minute. But before we do that, I want to talk about the points that the top 10 players alone got. And you're going to see why Raid is so much, hey, whale heavy as far as the investment people are putting in. So just the top 10 players. The top 10 players alone made a total of, let's see, like this is 14.7K just from number one, just from the first place person. Voids. All right, so voids. Top 10, 2,082,231 points. That is just points. Let's see how many shards it actually was. So I said 2,082,231 divided by 104. That is 20,022 shards. 20,022. That is crazy amount of shards. Let's go ahead and do the math on this. Top 10 players. How much money did you give Plarium? $50,000 over the course of a weekend. Just on the top 10 players. And take a look at this, okay? The top 10 players are all above 100,000 points. And then you scroll down, you're still above 100,000 points until you get down to 25th. He's at 98,000. We can round that up, say he's at 100,000. So basically, the top 25 players are all above 100,000 points. And just some really quick math, let's go ahead and say 100,000 points divided by 104. It's going to give us 961. So 961 shards pulled at the price of what it was, 961. That's going to be $2,000, about $2,000 per person on the top 25. That is crazy. Now, we obviously know these numbers are just mind-blowing. Not everybody pulled void shards, but I think the math and the ancients would be very comparable. Obviously, they're going to get some free stuff, but let's be honest here. The free stuff is irrelevant when you compare it to how much money was actually spent by those players with the crazy high numbers. With that said, this is the part that made me think, I think all my spending is kind of pointless. So to preface this and to compare based off of my account, I've pulled, we're not going to go actually, let's show how many legendaries I pulled, okay? So legendaries total in my account, you probably can't see this, but I have 198. Now, legendary void specifically, I have 45. So I don't talk about it very often, but about how much money I've spent on my account. Honestly, I don't know exactly at this point. I got to revisit my taxes, but I think it's between $10,000 and $15,000. It's a lot of money. I've also played for 3 years. All right. So 3 years, about $10,000 to $15,000, 45 void legendary champions pulled. Well, let's go check out how many void champions this player pulled. So we're going to go to his shards. He pulled 5,912, right? Is that what I said? We got some notepads right here. So 5,913 shards. So 5,913, we have 5,913. If you're expected at a 1% pull rate to pull a legendary, well, 1 in every 100 shards, we're going to divide this by 100. So he's going to have pulled, let's just say 59. Let's say he had bad RNG, okay? He pulled 55 void legendary champions. I've pulled 45. He pulled in one weekend 10 more void legendary champions than I've pulled in my entire 3 years with $10,000 to $15,000 spent. That is the part to me that is the most crazy. Honestly, that is like telling me, hey, I thought I could be competitive with the big spenders, but to be honest, the way this looks, no, because he already has all those champions, basically. He already has the champion. So every pull he does is basically going to +1 a champion, going to +1 somebody. That is a lot of void legendaries. And it could be less, it could be more. Obviously, the RNG is a big factor. It could be a big difference. But 55 void legendaries, that's even dropped down quite a bit. 55 void legendaries. I'm wishing my math was wrong somewhere. Now, let's say he did it every 200. So 59, 13, divided by, he went to Mercy every time, dude, about 220, okay? 26 void legendaries. That's half the number of void legendaries I pulled, but let's be honest, he probably didn't. So he probably not pulled it every 100. Let's say it was every 170. 59, 13, divided by, actually, let's do 150. That's probably more realistic. 39, so almost 40. So still, in one shard pull session, he's pulled, this isn't just the pull champions, by the way. I have one champion who's free. I have a champion who's earned, so 2 champions, 3 champions, 4. This Arbiter was pulled, 4, 5. This one was guaranteed, 6, 7. Dang, I have a lot of free champions here. Whirlum, I think, was he, where did I get him? Did I pull him? I guess I did. So like 6 or 7 champions I've gotten for free. Lydia, dang, so I got a lot of free. Man, this makes me look even worse. So basically, he pulled my account in void legendaries over the course of a weekend. That's really what it is. I mean, even with these rates, he did. But what did the second place person do? I'm curious about this now. So 220,000 points, 854 divided by, did I say 100? So he pulled 2,200 shards. Divide that by, say, 150 shards per legendary. And then he's going to have 14 legendaries. Okay, that looks much smaller, but man, 14 legendaries. That is like quite a bit compared to what I've done. Like 14 legendaries is a big percentage of my account. If I had 14 legendaries, that's a lot. Like how many's in this row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18 in these 2 rows. So take out 4. I don't have a ton of uniques. Honestly, how can I see how many uniques I have? Show duplicate champions only. So I have 27. So 45. It's kind of hard. I guess I have 18. No, I don't know if that's the right way to do that math or not. Maybe 18 uniques. That's actually especially bad in that case, honestly. I'm just getting depressed by watching this, guys. I mean, I'm not even watching it. I'm getting depressed reading over this, thinking that I'm doing pretty good with my 45 voids. And the thing is that some of you watching this video have also played 3 years, more free to play than I am. And you're like, oh, I got 10 void legendaries and 5 of them are free. What in the world? And he pulls 20 in the course of a weekend. That is mind-blowing. Taras Marichka +4. I would love to see this player's account, honestly. Would love to see the player's account. But guys, that is your daily dose of reality, I guess. If you want to get a Kymar, honestly, if you're in his bracket, that's actually probably helpful because you know, hey, I'm just not even going to try. But to be honest, if you're my bracket, how many shards did this guy pull? I'm not going to try to keep y'all up forever. This stuff is interesting to me. Maybe it's interesting to you as well. Hopefully it is. I mean, if you're to this point, it should be. If not, you should not be watching videos you don't find interesting. But either way, 25,129. So 25,129 divided by 104. It's about 241 shards. I mean, that's not bad for a guaranteed Kymar. And that's not necessarily voids. Like, he is a player. These players probably pulled some ancients as well. Like, especially if you're close to Mercy, boom, that's an ancient pulled. That's a nice little extra chunk of points for your legendary. If you have champions, some from your portal, maybe you saved up some Mithrala, or maybe you saved up some fusions, maybe something like that. Maybe you pulled a few of those champions and got you some extra points during the event. It's not too bad. 25,000 points for a Kymar, that's solid. Like, this is a good tournament. I'm glad he didn't get sniped. I don't think he did any sniping himself. So that was good. But some players, they had a much rougher time. You may have been one of them. So guys, either way, thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out one of the other videos that are about to pop up. And I'll catch you all in the next one.